Now, you and Donald really had some kind of clashes there. All of a sudden, you look so friendly in this commercial. I mean, how does that, is it just like Hugh the dough? All right, we'll put our difference there. I mean, how do you...
You know what, it does take time, and it took me about 2 years to even think about another man. So if I see another man in my life, I die. But, you know, everything, the hurt and everything passes and the life goes on. And look, you know, Donald is not going to turn down $100 for and he, you know, I think he needs it right now, you know, and somebody has to support the ex, right?
I see.
So it was great, no, it was a lot of fun, and especially now because my book is coming up about divorce, and it's a advice book to the women, and it was just a fabulous timing that you can show the people that eventually you can talk and you can communicate and all that. So
well, let's talk about some of the advice now. Now, what advice do you give, like, to a guy that's like, talk about cheating, guys are cheating, the warning signs. What are the warning signs that a guy is cheating?
You know that if you know, you're married maybe 10 years, 15 years, you married for a long time.
Right.
Hopefully you will never need it. You know,
no, I don't need it.
Just make sure that your wife doesn't get the hand on it, otherwise you're dead.
Well, what are the signs? Well, tell me the signs.
Come home and there's a woman in the bed.
Yeah, that's a definite. That's a definite problem. I know you know that you have a problem.
Honey, it's not what it looks like. You can't.
Actually, what it is, if the guy goes and he buys himself a new suit and suddenly has a new hairdo, and he's polishing his nails and you know.
Polishing his nails, the guys do that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they will do all kind of tricks. Yeah.
I feel like OJ. Oh, my hand.
No, the man suddenly loses 100 pounds and
loses 100 pounds. I think he's severely ill if he loses 100 pounds.
He wants to be, you know, he wants to be 25-year-old, you know. He wants to date the 18-year-old. He has to look past, you know.
That's confusing bulimia, I think, with cheating.
No, you see it. You see it. The guy suddenly is really taking care of himself, polishing himself and all that. But you know what? The men are very good cheats, you know. Very often friends of mine, they would tell me, you know, but my husband was home every day at 6 o'clock. He never missed night out. And I said, well, how did he cheat? And said, well, he cheated during the lunchtime and after the lunch and every time, but he never missed the time. So it's hard. Sometimes the wife is the last one to know.
Well, how do you deal with, like, people would say to you, like, you know, like surviving divorce, people say, well, she got 10 million or whatever it is. I mean, people who are obviously not in the same financial, I mean, how do you relate to them? How do you give them advice?
You know what, it really doesn't matter how wealthy you are. The money, of course, money is very important because you know that you have a meal second day, but the feelings and hurt is the same. You have the same devastation, and you have the same, you know, disappointments, you have the same sense of failure.
Do you think women should get even? Like, if a guy's cheating, should she go out and take the credit card and just go betting?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah?
I just wish I would think of it, you know, I didn't at the times, but...
No, you didn't at the time, did you?
Well, you know,
But why didn't you? It's not your nature, because you're probably a very nice person, right?
I was a nice person, and I was a newcomer, but I'm telling I have a friend of mine, which actually was very cute. She found out that her husband was cheating on her, so what she did, she immediately booked, and she was very conservative. She really didn't spend a lot of money, and she was watching and all, and she booked herself on first-class flight from New York to Los Angeles. Found out a fabulous plastic surgeon, and had done everything. I mean, eyes, face, how we call it, chest.
I think you call that the chest, yeah.
And the everything, and the bill came in. It was about $70,000, and she was so happy with it. And I said, you know what? But wasn't it a little bit too expensive? I said, what do I care? He has to pay for it, and somebody else is going to enjoy it.
Well, how about the royal divorces? You like with Prince Charles and those kind of people? Is it the same situation?
Well, you know, I tell you, I go and I live in London, and I spend a lot of time there. I'm a little bit sick of Diana whining and crying that the husband doesn't love her. But too bad. You know how many husbands doesn't love their wives and they don't have the tiara and Buckingham Palace and 2 beautiful healthy kids? Give me a break. So I'm really sick of that.
Are you sick of it? Fed up.
Just go on with your life. You know, either stay and live with it or find the guy which is going to love you and go on with your life.
Yeah.
But she doesn't like that. She wants everything. You know? And so she talks badly against him. It's not going to bring his love. He can't stand it. So it's just, I think she's wrong.
Well, how about Fergie? Now, she's divorced too.
Fergie, Fergie is a very nice girl.
Yeah.
I do some charities, and we're doing charities for the children of the world.
Yeah.
And it's nice. Fergie has a problem. You know, she goes and she doesn't realize that she is princess. She goes and she takes off her top in south of France. It's not a big deal. I mean, the French,
let's not discourage these people.
Take their tops off. You know, but number one, she's not French. Number two, she's a princess. You can't. You know, if you are in the public life, I'm afraid to swim in the bathtub nude. I mean, forget to go in the French Riviera. So she doesn't have a great sense of judgment.
Now, are you engaged now?
Yes, I am.
Oh, to an Italian guy?
Italian
Very
guy,
good choice. Now, this man, you trust this man?
Well...
Do you trust this guy?
I do trust him, but I tell you something which is in the back of my mind all the time, because once, you get burned, like I was burned, it always stays there. You say, is it going to happen to me again? So I probably never going to be as trusted as I used to be.
Yeah, but
and it's natural. I mean, it's natural.